What is up, everyone? I'm the Senator, and there are potentially some huge changes coming to some of our favorite operators. The biggest change of all being that Jager being nerfed from a 3-speed all the way down to a 2-speed. So, Ubisoft has released the patch notes for the test server, and I'm going to preface this by saying that just because it's in the test server does not mean that it will come to the live build of the game. However, usually whatever does go into the test server will make its way over to the live build of the game. It just depends on how well the community receives it and how well it does in the test server. And so now I'm just going to run through the list of the changes that are coming to the test server in regards to operator specific instead of just the bug fixes, because we don't really care about that. We want the meat of this. So first we have Buck, and this change really surprised me. And they've stated that they're going to get rid of Buck's frag grenades and replace them with claymores. Or a claymore, sorry. And I don't really understand why they're doing this. I feel that Buck is in a really good spot where he is, and I've always loved that I can use my skeleton key to open up a floor or ceiling and just drop grenades in there. And speaking of the skeleton key, they've also increased the skeleton key magazine capacity. The skeleton key magazine capacity was increased to 5+1, and the ammo count for the skeleton key is now up to 25+1. And so while I love Buck having frag grenades, I love using frag grenades with Buck, him having a claymore is not such a bad idea, because as a Buck, you need to be able to go under sight and open up lines of sight from underneath, get rid of bandit batteries, pop mirrors, whatever you need to do. And having a claymore there to protect your flank could actually be really, really helpful. So while I do prefer grenades with Buck, having a claymore is not that bad. Okay, so next we have Caveira, and Cav is getting a small buff to her M12. And that buff is she's going to have the holographic sight now, whereas right now she only has the red dot and the reflex. It's something really, really small, but people who main Cav and love playing Cav, they'll be grateful for this. Okay, so now here's the big one that you clicked on this video for, and that is Jager. Jager is going to be nerfed from a 3-speed 1 armor to a 2-speed 2 armor. And the devs have stated in the patch notes that Jager is a very strong roamer, and multiple data points demonstrate his huge presence in-game. To make his presence a little bit less oppressive in-game, we're looking to moderate that by reducing roaming potential. And so as of right now, the patch notes just got released. I'm not sure how everyone in the community is going to take this news. I feel like we're going to be more divisive on this. You have your Jager mains who are freaking out, and you have other people who are like, you know, this may be a really good thing. And honestly, I see this as a good thing. Jager has a pick rate of 90%, and he has the strongest weapon on defense and one of the most powerful abilities in-game. And he really needed a nerf, whether it be his weapon, his gadget, or his speed. But I think that a nerf by making him a 2-speed should do the trick when bringing down his pick rate, because Ubisoft released Wamai as an attempt to bring down his pick rate, and that did nothing. So they had to do something to Jager instead of, you know, putting another operator in there that does something similar to him. Something needed to change with Jager, and I think his speed may have been the best option. Okay, now on to Mozzie, and this change I really don't like as someone who just loves Mozzie, and that is they're getting rid of his Super Shorty. And as of right now, I'm not sure what they're going to replace it with, but they've stated that he is currently a powerful intelligence counter and is a great roamer in the same breath. Although that gives him a very high game presence as a single operator, and we're looking to tone down just how much he brings to the team. And so, as much as I love Mozzie, I think they may be right. He's already an extremely powerful operator who brings a lot of utility, so I can understand why they're doing this. However, I don't think this will have really any impact on his pick rate or win rate. But they probably did need to do something about Mozzie, because the mute Mozzie meta is just so strong right now that they're trying to spice it up a little bit and change it. So it's understandable as to why, but I really like the Super Shorty on Mozzie. He just brings so much more utility to the team, and he's so versatile because of it. But we're just going to play it out and see how it does. Okay, so now on to our girl Ying, and this is a big change, pretty much on par with Jager's change. And they're going to increase the number of candelas to 4, which as of right now she only has 3 candelas, now she has 4. And they're replacing her claymores with smoke grenades and increasing her T95 LSW damage to 46, which as of right now it is at 43. And the devs stated in the patch notes that Ying's presence is still lower than expected even after improving her candelas in the Year 5 Season 1 patch. We hope that giving her kit some more juice and her gadgets and weapons should help her out on that front. And I really like this change because I see Ying as an operator who has a lot of potential, but some things were just holding her back. Now that she has the ability to burn up an ADS with smoke grenades and launch her 4 Candelas in, I really like this change. Also, her T9 out of 5 damage increase was the last thing I really expected, but it does make sense. It does have a pretty slow rate of fire when compared to other LMGs, so it makes sense why they'd want to increase the damage, but hopefully this will lead to actually Warden being picked more. And I actually think that the whole reason that she got a buff at the beginning of the season was because of how poorly Warden is and how he's not a good operator. He's very situational. Now with Ying becoming more powerful and being able to, launch claymores in launch Candelas in no problem, and with the nerf to Jager that'll also bring down his presence, I'm predicting that we're probably going to see more Warden than we've seen in the past. But I think this change is going to have a huge impact on the defense as a whole, and we can probably expect to see a lot more Ying with these changes. And so finally, the last nerf is to both Cade and Goyo's shotgun, the TCS G12. And the patch notes state that they added an additional magazine to the TCS G12, sorry that's a mouthful, and they reduced its damage to 55, which it was at 84, which is a pretty big nerf. And so the devs stated in the patch notes that the their shotgun, as it is now currently, can kill any operator with 2 shots. We're adding an extra magazine while reducing its power to give more firefight stamina without being overly punishing. And this nerf just sort of came out of nowhere, but I don't think it will have much effect on the game. It may lower Goyo's pick rate or lower than it already is, which you hate to see because it's already so low in ranked. And it's kind of weird how it's just he's not using ranked at all, but you look at the pro leagues and he's a god. But that's another video topic. But it should be interesting to see how these changes affect both of their pick rates. And who knows, we may see an increase in Cade's use with his assault rifle or whatever his automatic weapon is. And so those are just the major changes, apart from some bug fixes. But you need to remember that these changes are not permanent. However, whatever happens in the test server will usually make its way into the main build of the game. It just depends on how well they do in the test server. So what do you think? Do you think that these changes overall are going to help the game? Or are they going to change some metas around? What are these changes going to do? And do you like these changes? Because I think overall for me, I like these changes as a whole, and I can understand why they're going to make some of these changes. And I think that if these changes come into the main build of the game, it's going to change a lot of things in terms of who's picked. Like I said, we may expect Warden to get picked more. We may see more of Wama since him and Jager are both 2 speeds. And we don't really know what's going to happen, how this is going to change everything. But I'm excited to see what happens from these changes. So let me know what you think down below. Do you like these changes overall? Are there specific changes that you're not a really big fan of? Just let me know. I love hearing from you guys. I love reading your comments. And so that about does it for today. So thanks for sticking around to the end of the video. And as always, have a good one.